It was a typical evening, and I was browsing the aisles for some groceries. The store was buzzing with activity, but there was an unsettling vibe lingering in the air. As I made my way through the crowded aisles, I noticed an odd sense of disarray. Products seemed misplaced. Shelves were slightly askew, and the lighting flickers intermittently. Initially, I brushed it off as typical for a busy store, but the feeling of unease grew stronger as I ventured deeper into the labyrinthine aisles. That's when things took a bizarre turn. I found myself in an aisle I could swear I hadn't seen before. A dimly lit section that didn't seem to fit the store's layout. The products on the shelves looked ancient, covered in layers of dust, as if they had been there for ages. It was like stepping into a forgotten corner of the store, frozen in time. As I tried to make sense of this oddity, I heard faint whispers echoing through the aisle. It was barely audible at first, but the whispers grew louder. An eerie chorus of hushed voices that seemed to come from all directions. My heart raced, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. I tried to find my way back to the main aisles, but the layout seemed to shift and twist, disorienting me further. The whispers became more distinct, almost forming words. But the language was unfamiliar and sent chills down my spine. Just as I was about to panic, the aisle abruptly ended, and I stumbled back into the familiar hustle and bustle of the store. My pulse raced, and I hastily made my way to the checkout, eager to leave. As I paid for my items, I couldn't help but glance back at that mysterious aisle, but it had vanished, replaced by the ordinary shelves of everyday products. To this day, I can't explain what happened in that bizarre section of Walmart. Was it a glitch in reality, or something more inexplicable lurking within the aisles? All I know is I avoid wandering too far from the main sections at Walmart now, just in case I stumble upon another haunting encounter in those labyrinthine aisles. Picture this, a bustling Walmart on a quiet night. I heard this unsettling story from a friend who experienced something truly eerie there. It was late, and the store was relatively empty except for a few customers scattered throughout the aisles. My friend, let's call her Jess, was browsing the electronics section, checking out the latest gadgets. Suddenly, she got this overwhelming feeling of being watched. You know, that skin-crawling sensation that makes you glance over your shoulder, expecting to see someone staring at you? Well, there was no one there. Shaking off the unease, Jess continued shopping, but the feeling persisted, growing stronger with each passing minute. That's when she noticed something odd. A tall figure standing at the end of the aisle, partially obscured by the shadows. Jess couldn't make out any features. It was like a silhouette lingering in the darkness. Trying to rationalize it, Jess assumed it was just another shopper, or perhaps an employee restocking shelves. But the figure didn't move, didn't make a sound, just stood there, almost unnaturally still. As Jess made her way to the next aisle, the feeling of being watched intensified, like invisible eyes following her every move. She quickly glanced back, and to her horror, the figure had moved closer, now standing at the edge of the aisle she had just left. Heart pounding, Jess picked up her pace, darting down different aisles. But each time she looked back, the figure was there, seemingly drawing closer without making a sound. Panic began to set in as she realized that no matter where she went, this mysterious presence was always behind her, lurking in the shadows. Finally, Jess reached the checkout area, gasping for breath. She spun around one last time, expecting to see the figure right behind her. But there was nothing, just an empty aisle. She left the store in a hurry, shaken to the core by an inexplicable encounter. To this day, she swears she was followed by something unseen and ominous that night at Walmart. A silent watcher that seemed to materialize out of the shadows, watching her every move. One ordinary night, let's call my friend Sarah, strolled into Walmart for a late-night shopping spree. The store was dimly lit, a few shoppers wandered the aisles, and everything seemed pretty routine until she reached the entrance. Now, Walmart's known for its friendly greeters, right? But on this particular night, as Sarah walked in, something felt off. There was no cheery "Welcome to Walmart" or a smile from the usual greeter. Instead, there stood a figure cloaked in a long coat with a hood pulled low, obscuring their face. Sarah thought it was odd, but she brushed it off, assuming the greeter was just having a rough night or maybe new on the job. She went about her shopping, trying to ignore the prickling feeling that someone was watching her every move. As she wandered through the aisles, grabbing items off the shelves, she kept catching glimpses of that figure, always in the distance, always watching. It was like the greeter was silently following her through the store, their face hidden beneath that hood. Unease crept over Sarah, and she decided to make her way to the checkout. But as she approached the registers, there it was again. The figure, standing near the exit, still as a statue, hood hiding their features. Feeling unnerved, Sarah quickly paid for her items and bolted for the exit. But as she passed by the figure, she realized something bone-chilling. The coat was empty. There was no person under that hood, just a shapeless void. She glanced back one last time, and the figure was gone, vanished into thin air. Sarah left Walmart that night feeling shaken, swearing she encountered some phantom greeter that didn't seem quite human. A chilling experience that made her think twice about late-night shopping trips at Walmart.